Hi guys, today we are going to show you how to safely remove an acrylic nail. We're going to be using our efile and a coarse drill bit. And yeah, any questions, please comment in the box below. But let's get started. I've already started to soak off some of the acrylic nails. It's going to come in, so two ways you can go about it, about getting these off. So, coming across, going into the nail. Now with an e-file, you always want to use your pinky to brace the actual finger. Otherwise, if you're going like this, you could easily carve and tear up your client's skin. And you don't want to do that. So make sure you use your pinky to brace in. And we can actually come across with force. And as you can see, pushing against, we can start to take off the nail. Now, another way is just with some toenail clippers. You can literally just come in and clip both sides like that. You don't need any special nail clippers. You know, you can if you want to, but you don't need to. Hey, why go out and have the expense if you don't need to? So today I'm using an extra coarse bit because obviously we're in salons, so we are doing fills and different things day in, day out. So this is something we like to use. If you are a beginner, you know, you can start off with something like a ceramic bit. It doesn't tend to heat up as much as the natural nail, sorry, on the acrylic. And also just in here is a safety bit, so it's nice and smooth. So even if you go near the cuticle area, you're not going to cut up the cuticle. Whereas this baby here, you really need to be very careful and make sure you are kind of a fairly experienced tech before you use something like this, because you know, if you slip, this is really going to cut your client. So, so be careful, guys. So we're going to turn on the drill. You want it to come on to a fairly high speed because you don't want the teeth to grab. So I'm going to come across here, bracing down my pinky, and I'm using pressure and pushing up against it. Don't be scared, guys. Like, you can see how high I've got my drill kind of coming off. So this being the off position, every single drill bit has its own different speeds. E-file, I should say, but I'm going up quite high. Now remembering that you should never use a drill piece of e-file bit like this on the natural nail, because it will be definitely not going to cut your client doing so. So we come in, coming around. You don't need to be too pedantic around the edges, around the cuticle line, because we are going to soak it off with some acetone. We want it to be taking it down as thin as what we can though, because if you're a nail tech, you want to try and save as much time as you can in the salon. And instead of your client sitting there, you know, soaking off for about 20 minutes, you know, it might only take 10 minutes with the acetone once you've kind of gotten the acrylic down fairly thin. So we've used a cover pink acrylic on this set here. Okay. So the more experience you can get, you can keep on going down a lot more thin, but we're just going to leave it at this for now. So then we can go through and get some soaking pads. Okay. These ones here are pre-prepped, so just like little alfoil. You always want to soak on the shiny side, actually facing down, because that helps it cook, literally, I guess you could say. You don't want to go on the matte side, shiny side down. And they have the little pads, soaking in some acetone, come in like that, put it on the nail, and fold. Now, you don't need to go to the expense of going and ordering the pre-made alfoil tab. You can actually just go and get some cotton balls, you know, put them in, just rip them in half or quarter them, soak them in acetone, put them on the top, and then wrap in some alfoil so that you've got it at home in the kitchen. Okay. So you wait about 10 minutes after you've soaked it with the acetone. Come in with your cuticle pusher. Kill two birds with one stone, so quickly just gently push around the cuticle area, just in case you're prepping for another service, and just gently scraping off the excess. And acrylic should come off like this. If it's something like MMA, you know, it's definitely, you'll notice when you're almost pulling it off, it's almost sticky and almost a yellowish tinge, and that is not good. And some salons kind of do use stuff like that quite legally, I guess you could say, and in unmarked containers. So as a consumer, please be aware of that. Make sure that your technician is using high quality products, and if you are a nail technician, make sure if you're removing something like MMA, keep yourself very safe. Make sure that you are wearing masks and not exposing yourself to a lot of the dust. So once you've come in, you can see that I've pretty much got all of that off. You can come in, so you can use the soft files, the 240 grit, and you come in and perform a manicure. Then if you like, but for this video, we're just going to do a soak off only. So gently just do a little buff off any residue. You want to pull back the side walls and almost use your finger. As you can see, when I'm bringing my file around, I'm not cutting into Holly's skin. I'm actually using my finger as a buffer, because those side walls and the cuticle area is extremely sensitive. So we don't want to have cuts in her skin, expose her to infection, and not just that. It creates just an overall not a nice, pleasant service for your client. All right, so you can come in, so you can keep obviously buffing with the nail file, or you can come in with the sanding band and your e-file. And with the sanding band on a super low speed. You come in, and I'm not going to completely remove every single bit of excess acrylic in here because we are about to do another service. So I'm gently tickling around all of the sides, pulling back the side wall with the e-file on extremely low speed, and just gently, just using the e-file to do the work, and just ever so lightly tickling it along. Just got a little shiny patch in there, which is going to be the gel. So when you're using a sanding band, I'm talking a super low speed. Okay. Alright, so because we're performing another service, we're going to go in, you can cleanse it with some IPA alcohol, cleansing wipe, or acetone, whatever you prefer. I prefer acetone because I feel like it really does cleanse and dehydrate the nail plate before another service. You can then go in and give your client a manicure if they're not going to put anything else on, and then you would always follow up with some cuticle oil. So that's how you safely remove and soak off a nail. Remember, the nail's going to be super dry after using the acetone to soak off the nails, so you always want to make sure that your client finishes with cuticle oil. If you are prepping for another service, definitely do not use the cuticle oil to the end, because you're going to cause lifting issues with having oils in the natural plate. But there you go.